10 daily habits that will force your body to gain muscle mass faster. Going to the gym every day and eating as much as you can won't make your muscles grow. Although these are important factors, this process definitely involves much more than that. Today, you'll see 10 daily habits that athletes use that will literally force your body to build muscle mass faster. Stay attentive until the end because habit number 5 is the most crucial and at the same time the most neglected on our list. Habit number 10, reduce stress. Reducing stress is certainly one of the most important habits on our list, despite many thinking it doesn't make a difference. You've probably heard that if your mind isn't well, your body will suffer consequences. Chronic stress can negatively interfere with several physiological processes essential for muscle growth. Elevated stress increases the production of cortisol, a catabolic hormone that can break down muscle tissue and hinder protein synthesis. Additionally, stress can impair sleep quality, muscle recovery, and motivation to train. In 2014, investigators from Ohio State University conducted a study to prove the negative influence of stress on muscle growth. In this study, 31 men were divided into two groups, one group with high levels of chronic stress and another with low levels. The participants performed a resistance training program for 12 weeks. Researchers measured participants' cortisol levels, as well as muscle mass gain throughout the study period. The results showed that the group with higher stress levels had a significantly smaller increase in muscle mass compared to the low-stress group. The study concluded that the high-stress group had a lower anabolic response to training due to elevated cortisol levels that interfered with protein synthesis and the muscle recovery process. And it's exactly for this reason that reducing stress creates a more favorable hormonal environment for muscle growth. You can incorporate practices such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, yoga, and leisure activities into your routine, thus reducing stress, improving sleep quality and general health, and consequently muscle growth. Habit 9. Stretching. If you tend to consider stretching a waste of time, we'll change your mind now. First, stretching improves flexibility and range of motion. More flexible muscles and joints allow you to perform complete movements during exercises, recruiting more muscle fibers and promoting greater stimulus for muscle growth. Additionally, stretching before training helps increase blood flow to the muscles, raising muscle temperature and improving circulation. This prepares the muscles for exercise, reducing stiffness and increasing the efficiency of muscle contractions. Well-warmed muscles are more elastic and less prone to injuries, which is vital to maintain consistency in training and avoid periods of inactivity. Imagine what would happen to your body if you had to stay away from training for months because of an injury that happened because you didn't stretch properly. Fewer injuries mean more time dedicated to training and, consequently, more opportunities to stimulate and build muscles. Furthermore, stretching can improve posture and muscle balance, helping to correct imbalances that can arise due to repetitive movement patterns and inadequate posture. We can also mention the psychological benefits. Stretching can help reduce tension and stress, promoting a more relaxed and focused mental state, which is beneficial for concentration and execution of workouts. Habit 8. Always seek to progress in load. Gradually increasing the amount of weight you lift during your exercises over time constantly challenges your muscles, leading to adaptations that result in muscle growth. It's as if you were telling your muscle that it needs to be stronger to be able to lift the weight. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research in 2002 investigated the effects of load progression in a group of men trained in weightlifting. The participants were divided into two groups, a group that performed a training program with load progression and another that performed a training program without load progression. The results showed that the group that implemented load progression had a significantly greater increase in muscle mass and strength compared to the group that did not use this method. This proves that progressively increasing the load in exercises is a crucial factor for optimizing muscle gains as it promotes the recruitment of more motor units and the synthesis of muscle proteins, resulting in an increase in muscle size and strength over time. Additionally, load progression is also important to avoid plateaus in progress. When you continue lifting the same weight repeatedly, your muscles adapt to that load and muscle growth stagnates. But remember, Load progression should always be done slowly and consciously, increasing the weight gradually over time, instead of raising everything at once. This approach allows your muscles to gradually adapt to the increased stress, reducing the risk of injuries and providing sustainable muscle gains. Increasing the weight excessively and abruptly can overload your muscles and joints, leading to injuries and compromising your progress. If you usually lift 44 pounds on each side in the bench press, don't try to increase to 66 pounds all at once. Habit 7. Don't cut carbohydrates. Many weightlifters seek to have a defined body and believe that completely cutting carbohydrates is the only way to achieve this. However, this popular belief is actually a major setback. Carbohydrates are a primary energy source for the body, especially during high-intensity exercises. By maintaining an adequate intake of carbohydrates, you provide fuel for intense workouts, allowing you to train with more energy and intensity. Additionally, carbohydrates are necessary to replenish muscle glycogen stores after exercise, which is crucial for muscle recovery and growth. Cutting carbohydrates can lead to early fatigue, reducing performance in workouts, and compromising the body's ability to recover and build muscles. In a diet focused on gaining muscles, it is essential that we seek to increase the daily amount of carbohydrates, because just like proteins, they will also play a crucial role. In diets more focused on body fat loss and for people seeking definition, we should only slowly reduce intake, but never cut completely. Habit 6. Avoid alcohol as much as possible. We know this is a sensitive topic, as many still use alcohol frequently, but when it comes to bodybuilding, we cannot forget that alcohol can impair protein synthesis, reduce testosterone levels, increase cortisol production, and interfere with sleep quality and muscle recovery, all essential factors for muscle growth. In 2014, researchers from Massey University in New Zealand published a study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research to prove this. In this study, 8 healthy men performed a resistance exercise session and were divided into 2 groups. One group consumed an alcoholic beverage, and the other consumed a non-alcoholic beverage after exercise. The researchers measured muscle protein synthesis through muscle biopsy samples collected at different times after the ingestion of the beverages. The results showed that muscle protein synthesis was significantly reduced in the group that consumed alcohol compared to the group that did not consume it. Specifically, alcohol consumption after exercise reduced muscle protein synthesis by about 37% compared to the control group. This demonstrates that alcohol can directly interfere with the body's ability to repair and build new muscle tissues after exercise. Besides reducing protein synthesis, alcohol can also increase cortisol levels and decrease testosterone levels. Alcohol also impairs sleep quality, which is vital for muscle recovery and growth. Poor sleep quality can lead to inadequate recovery and, consequently, less muscle gain. Remember that many try to justify that they use it only socially, but if you drink on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, it means you are consuming alcohol on almost half of your days. Don't expect to make great progress in the gym under these conditions. Use in moderation. Before we continue to habit 6, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to correct and science-based information is what will make you progress in the long term in the world of bodybuilding. Habit 5. Consume proteins and vegetables in each meal. Proteins are the building blocks of muscles, providing the essential amino acids necessary for muscle growth and repair. By distributing protein intake throughout the day, you provide a constant flow of amino acids to the muscles, optimizing protein synthesis and minimizing muscle degradation. This is fundamental to maximize muscle gains and post-exercise recovery. Dividing protein intake throughout the day also optimizes absorption and utilization by the body. Consuming a large amount of protein at once can overload the digestive system and result in less efficient absorption. Distributing intake throughout the day allows for a more gradual and effective absorption, ensuring that the body makes the most of the nutrients. Additionally, combining proteins with vegetables in each meal brings a series of benefits. Vegetables provide fibers, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are essential for general health and proper functioning of the organism. They also help balance the acidity of the body's pH, promoting an internal environment conducive to muscle growth and recovery. Habit 4. Drink the ideal amount of water every day. Although often underestimated and neglected, water plays several essential roles in muscle building. First, it acts as a solvent, aiding in the transport of vital nutrients, such as amino acids, vitamins, and minerals, to muscle cells, where they are needed for protein synthesis and muscle growth. Think of water as a means of transport. It facilitates the movement of everything in your body. Without this transport, it would be much more difficult to reach the necessary places. Additionally, water is crucial for regulating body temperature during exercises, ensuring that muscles function efficiently and reducing the risk of fatigue and injuries. During workouts, we lose water through sweat, which can lead to dehydration if not adequately replenished. Dehydration can compromise muscle performance, decreasing strength, endurance, and coordination, as well as delaying post-exercise recovery. It is fundamental to drink water before, during, and after workouts to maintain an adequate level of hydration and optimize muscle performance. Moreover, staying hydrated throughout the day is equally important to ensure that the body functions effectively in its metabolic and physiological functions. How do I know the amount of water I should drink per day? For those who still have doubts about the recommended amount of water one should drink, just multiply your weight by 30 to 50 milliliters. Therefore, if you are a man of 154 pounds, for example, you should drink between 71 to 118 ounces of water daily. Habit. 3. Incorporate creatine. Creatin is a compound that naturally occurs in the body and is primarily stored in the muscles, where it plays a crucial role in energy production during high-intensity and short-duration exercises, such as weightlifting. First, creatin increases the availability of phosphocreatine in the muscles. Phosphocreatine is used to regenerate ATP, which is the main source of cellular energy. During intense exercises, ATP depletes rapidly, and the ability to regenerate it quickly allows you to maintain high performance for longer. This means you can lift heavier weights, do more repetitions, and have more intense workouts, resulting in greater muscle stimulation and consequently greater muscle growth. Additionally, creatin increases intracellular water retention in the muscles, which creates a cellular environment that favors protein synthesis and muscle growth. This increase in cell volume can signal to the body to initiate adaptation processes that include increasing muscle protein synthesis and reducing muscle degradation. Creatin can also improve muscle recovery. With more ATP available, muscles recover more quickly between sets and workouts, allowing for more frequent and effective training sessions. Improved recovery means less downtime due to fatigue or injuries, accelerating progress toward increased muscle mass. Creatin really performs wonderful functions for US bodybuilders. That's why we're now showing on screen a video explaining 9 reactions of your body when ingesting 5 grams of creatin every day. Don't miss it. Habit 2. Sleep well. Sleeping well and getting an adequate amount of hours of sleep is fundamental to maximize muscle building effectively. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology in 2010 demonstrated the relationship between sleep and muscle protein synthesis. In this study, researchers examined the effects of restricted sleep in healthy young people. They found that sleep restriction significantly reduced the rate of muscle protein synthesis and negatively affected the balance between muscle anabolism and catabolism. The study worked by exposing participants to periods of restricted sleep, monitoring their muscle protein synthesis, and other markers related to muscle building. The results clearly indicated that lack of adequate sleep compromises the body's ability to build and repair muscle tissues. Sleep is a crucial period of recovery for the body, during which important processes of muscle repair and growth occur. During deep sleep, the body releases important hormones for muscle growth, such as growth hormone, better known as GH, and also testosterone, which, as you know, is probably the most important hormone in male health. Additionally, adequate sleep helps regulate cortisol levels, a catabolic hormone that can degrade muscle tissue. Habit 1. Maintain proper nutritional control. By monitoring and adjusting the intake of calories, macronutrients, and micronutrients according to specific training goals, a person can provide the body with the necessary nutrients for muscle growth and proper recovery. It is crucial that you define whether you want to follow a caloric surplus diet, which is when we eat more calories than we burn with the goal of muscle mass gain, or a caloric deficit diet, which is when we eat fewer calories than we burn, with the goal of losing body fat for muscle definition. Without this clarity, a person will not know if they are consuming excess calories for muscle growth or in deficit for fat loss. This can lead to stagnant or even counterproductive results. That's why athletes take nutritional control seriously, weighing and measuring each food they consume. This practice allows for precision in calorie counting and macronutrient distribution, ensuring that they are aligned with their training goals. Let's use a man of 176 pounds who chose a caloric surplus diet as a basis for you to better understand. He should consume about 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. For a man of 176 pounds, this would mean a daily intake of approximately 282 to 352 grams of protein, around 3 to 5 grams of carbohydrates per pound of body weight. For the same man of 176 pounds, this would equate to a daily intake of about 528 to 880 grams of carbohydrates. Fats, about half to 1 gram per pound of body weight. For the given example, this would be approximately 88 to 176 grams of fat per day. Finally, one last warning. Even if you correct these habits in your daily routine, there are still some specific training errors that many people make without realizing and may be sabotaging your results. If you want to know what they are, we've left a video appearing right now on the screen where we list and explain each one of them. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.